Right, Assalamualaikum and very good morning all. Okay, this week's topic will be covering cookies, and after this topic, we'll be covering cakes. All right. First of all, what uh, what is defined as a cookie or cookies? Okay, if you look on Google or a formal dictionary, one definition that you may come across is cookies refers to a sweet biscuit having a fairly soft, chewy texture and typically containing pieces of chocolate or fruit, or maybe other related toppings such as peanuts. So, dari kita sini, cookies ni dia kena dia sejenis biskut. Biskut ni manis, yang agak lembut dan chewy dia punya teksturnya. Okay? Dia tak semestinya crispy semata-mata, tapi dia kena chewy juga in texture. Okay, dan cookies ni generally dia ada 4 karakteristik. Okay. Pertamanya ialah crispiness ataupun kerangupannya. Okay, antara faktor yang boleh menyebabkan kerangupan kepada cookies ni, pertama ialah kalau kita guna low proportion of liquid in the mix, okay, use a high content of sugar and fat inside the batter, okay, evaporation of moisture during baking due to high temperatures or bake it in a long duration sebab bila berinteraksi dengan haba tu akan menyebabkan moisture keluar daripada batter dan dia sikit sebanyak akan buatkan dia keras lah. Okay. Okay, keempat, small size or thin shape so that the cookies dry quickly. Bila dia kecil dan nipis, dia selalunya senanglah haba tu mengeluarkan lembapan dalamnya. Okay. Cara kelima, proper storage. Crisp cookies can become soft if they absorb moisture. Okay. Okay, karakteristik yang kedua, kalau ikutkan definition tu, ialah softness. Okay. Alright. Antara faktor yang menyumbangkan kelembutan atau softness cookies ni adalah by um, by using a high proportion of liquid inside the mix, using only low amount of sugar and fat, using an alternative sweetener such as honey, molasses, or corn syrups, because these types of sugars or sweeteners are high hygroscopic, meaning that they they readily absorb moisture from the air or from the other surroundings. Okay. Number 4, maybe you can underbake your cookies. Number 5, makes your cookies larger in size or thick in shape so that they can retain moisture easily. And number 6, proper storage. Meaning letak dalam tempat yang tertutup tak kedap udara lah sebab if you keep it in an open area, the soft cookies will become stale and dry. Sebab didedahkan pada sekeliling, so moisture dia akan keluar lah. Okay. Next characteristic is chewiness. There is a saying that all chewy cookies are soft, but not all soft cookies are chewy. Okay. All right. And what are the factors that contribute to the chewiness of your cookies? Number 1 is the high sugar and liquid content, but low fat content. Number 2 can make your cookies chewy by adding a high proportion of eggs inside it. Okay. Number 3, add a strong flour or gluten developed during mixing. Either you use a strong flour that has strong gluten in it, or you mix your batter longer so that the gluten develops. Okay. And lastly, number 4 is spread. kesekataan cookies you. Okay. Okay. Several factors can contribute to spreadness of cookies. Number one, sugar. If you use high sugar content will increase the spread of your cookies. Okay. Dia dekat apa kat sini. Coarse granulated sugar will increase the spread. However, if you use fine sugar or confectioner sugar, it will reduce your spreads. Number two is the leavening. Okay, if you use high baking soda or baking ammonia, uh, it will increase the spreads. If you use long creaming, also can also increase spreads. Number three is the temperature. If you use low oven temperature, it will increase the spread. But if you use high temperature, it will decrease the spread because the cookie will set up before it has the chance to spread too much. Meaning haba yang tinggi bukan saja dia akan sedap moisture, dia akan uh, menghalang you punya cookies tu mengembang dengan elok lah. Okay. Ada apa lagi? Keempat, liquid. Okay. A slack batter, the one with high liquid content was spread more than a stiff batter or stiff dough. Five, the type of flour that you use. If you use strong flour, it will usually have more gluten, and more gluten will contribute to will actually decrease your spread because dia akan keras cepat. Yang keenam ialah your pan grease. If you grease your pan or grease your mold, your cookies will spread more evenly. Okay, right. All right. What are the mixing methods used in baking cookies? There are generally three. One is one stage, second is creaming, and the third is sponge. Okay. For these topics, saya tak akan terangkan in details what is one, what is creaming, what is push. Sebab dia kata kat sini, basically the step that you use to make cookies sama saja dengan step yang digunakan untuk buat cake yang kita akan tengok dalam topik seterusnya selepas ni. Okay. Alright. Types and makeup methods of cookies. There are 7 types. First one is called drop. It is made from a soft dough or batter. They are usually fast and easy to make. Many sponge or foam type batters are made up as drop cookies. Basically, dia macam ni lah. You make a batter katakan chocolate chip. Grease pan, you cedok guna sudu ataupun scooper. Ambil pap satu. Kalau you guna scooper, mungkin you dapat more uniform shape. Tapi kalau you guna sudu, mungkin you punya shape akan a bit vary lah from one shape, one cookies to the other. Number 2 is baked cookies. Baked cookies or pressed cookies are made from soft dough. Dough must be soft enough to be forced through a pastry bag, but stiff enough to hold the shape. The type is rolled cookies. It is cut from a stiff dough and it is not often made in commercial food service because they require extensive labor. And they are usually made using scraps. It always result in scraps are always left after the cutting process. And when re-rolled, these scraps makes inferior tough cookies. Okay, sebab kalau you nak roll ni, you kena cutting lebih dua tu, dan daripada cutting yang lebih tu dia akan bazir lah. Molded cookies, okay. Molded cookies is when you use special mold. In this case, acuan digunakan are used to flatten the dough and at the same time stem into a design. Design ni boleh menjadi macam-macam lah, bulan ke, bentuk binatang ke. So molded cookies, contoh kalau masakan tradisional mungkin biskut raya lah. Selalunya boleh digolongkan dalam mold cookies ni. Right. Next type is icebox cookies. This ideal operation for operation that wishes to have freshly baked cookies on hand at all time. Third is bar cookies. Bar cookie is called like uh, bar cookies. Is because the dough is shaped into long bars, which is baked and then cut, as you can see in this picture. And lastly, sheet cookies. Okay. Sheet cookies ni dia bentuk leper dan macam segi empat tak tepat. Alright. Okay. Kalau susah nak bayangkan based on the description, jom kita search Google satu persatu macam mana shape cookies ni. Okay, these are examples of how drop cookies. Untuk dia macam mana? Selalunya macam saya kata tadi, dia buat dalam batter dan disusun atas tray. Challenge dia is to produce uniform cakes on the cookies tu lah. Okay. Tengok. So, dia bulat tetapi dia punya texture not the same. Right, next. Apa? Bag cookies. Macam mana bag cookies ni? Bag cookies, dia macam bentuk beralun-alun sikit. Okay. Tengok. Dia, kita menggunakan macam apa piping bag untuk keluarkan dia dalam acuan. Apabila dia masak, dia akan bentuk macam ni lah contohnya. Bentuk yang beralun-alun ni. Okay. Bag cookies, bayangkan you buy batter and you masukkan dalam piping bag. And the end product dia akan bentuk apa macam ni lah. Okay. Okay, next. Seterusnya, roll cookies. Roll cookies. Bentuk yang bergulung-gulung. Okay. Bergulung-gulung, round shapes. Okay, next. Molded cookies. Kalau contoh Mak Saleh, you akan tengok macam ni lah, macam-macam bentuk hearts, gingerbread, a bear dan sebagainya. Okay. Whatever shape possible you can you buat, untuk haiwan ke, love ke, jambatan ke sisi ke, itu dikira sebagai molded product or molded cookies ya. Okay, next, molded ice box cookies. How this? Okay. Ini antara contoh bentuk icebox cookies. Cuma lagi satu, saya just ada another way to remember what icebox cookies are. Cookies yang you boleh store di dalam peti ais. Okay. Peti beku. Selalunya dihidangkan sejuk. Ini antara contoh icebox cookies can look like. And ni bar cookies. Selalunya panjang. Tebal. Kalau sheet cookies dia nipis sikit. Okay. Nipis dan lepis sikit sheet cookies. Bar cookies dia tebal sikit. Alright, so these are this is how the 7 types of cookies can look like. Okay. Okay. Right now that you have seen how each cookies look like, now we'll see how the process of panning, baking, and cooling. Okay, you start with preparing the pan. You first of all you need to use clean and unwrapped pans. Okay, lining the sheets with uh, parchment or silicone paper is fast because it eliminates the necessity of greasing the pan. Okay, heavily greased pan increases the spread of cookies, and a greased and floured pan decreases. Flour pan decreases the spread. Okay, there's a disclaimer there. Okay, some high-fat cookies can be baked on ungreased pan. Kalau kita guna mentega dengan banyak, dia dah ada a greasy effect on the batter, so dia tak perlulah you grease the pan tu. Okay. Alright, once you've had the pan, letak segala silikon, grease semua, comes the baking part. Right. Most cookies are baked at relatively high temperatures for a short amount of time. If the temperature is too low, it increases the spread and may produce hard, dry pale cookies. If you use a temperature that is too high, it may decrease the spread and may burn the edges on the bottom of your cookies. Okay. Even 1 minute of over baking can burn a cookie, so watch them closely and carefully. Okay. Because the heated pan continues to heat of the pan will continue to bake the cookies even after they are removed from the oven. So katakan you kena tengok betul-betul resipi dia berapa lama yang dia suggest tu ni. Sebab walaupun dia kata 5 minit, kalau you keluarkan dulu cepat-cepat and you biar pan tu you biar cookies tu atas pan lama-lama, pan yang masih panas tu akan terus memasak dan memanggang cookies tu, dan itu mungkin mempengaruhilah you punya final outcome of the cookies. So ingat ya, point number 4 ni. Even 1 minute of over baking can burn cookies. So watch them very closely. Okay. Kalau dia kata 5 minit, cepat keluarkan and jangan biarkan dalam tray tu lama-lama. Right? Okay. Number 5. The doneness is indicated by color, which means that the edge and the bottom should just be turning to a light golden color. Kalau boleh janganlah biar terlalu gelap sangat sampai nampak hangus tu. Okay. Right. Number 6, with some rich dough, a burnt bottom may be a problem because in this case, kalau roux yang dish, dia boleh menyebabkan dia punya bottom tu terbakar. So in this case, double pan the cookies by placing the sheet pan on the second pan for the same size. Okay. Ini cara untuk you nak elak burn bottom problems ni. Okay. So once you've baked the cookies, you will take it out of the oven for the cooling process. Alright. You will need to remove the cookies from the pan while they are still warm or they may stick. Okay. Jangan tunggu lama-lama keluar pada oven. Cepat-cepat pindahkan dia keluar pada tray tu. Okay. Kedua, if the cookies are very soft, do not remove them from the pan until they are cool enough and firm enough to handle. Okay. Ni dalam case kalau cookies tu lembut lah. Leave it on. Tapi not too long. Dan pindahkan keluar pada tray tu. Okay. Do not cool cookies too rapidly in cold depth, otherwise they may crack. Okay. And once you cool them completely, baru you store dalam airtight sealer. Okay. Alright, so that's basically it about cookies. We will continue the lesson next with cakes.